It's show and tell time. I'm going to showcase all of my ghost hunting, paranormal, and expedition adventure equipment right now so you guys can see what I do. Well, this is all my stuff. I thought I'd do something a little bit different today because tonight I'm actually going to be home alone in my entire house. I just sold this house, and in a couple of weeks I'm going to be moving more out into the country so I can get right into the middle of the mystery of all these ancient petroglyphs, weird caves, mysteries of giants, UFO sightings, and all that. I'm going to be moving right into the middle of that. But over the last year or so, I have collected some really interesting paranormal investigating equipment and stuff that I take in my backpack on adventures that has been really important to my work. And I wanted to share that with you guys now. And then tonight, I'm going to set it all up and we're going to paranormal investigate my house for the first time ever for real using all this equipment, because lately I've honestly been having some really strange stuff go on, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. Ever since going through the divorce, trying to rebrand the channel, do what I actually love to do, and go out on these adventures and do cool stuff like this, the views have been so down, and there's been new people coming over to watch the content. It's basically been like starting over. And so I just got to feel free to be able to vlog again and do what I love to do and not worry about all that. And I hope you guys support me. So occasionally I want to be able to just like grab the camera, make some cool videos, and share with you guys what I'm doing without putting like 2-3 days of work into an entire film set, video idea, and the whole project. You know, I'm not even adding music to my videos. I'm just trying to get back to the core of who I am. I don't know if you're like me, but a lot of times when I'm watching other people's videos, it's like they're using a piece of equipment, like something like this or like that. They've got some weird goggles or something, and they're doing paranormal investigating. And they never say what the heck it is. They don't tell you what they're using or where to get it. And it drives me crazy because I would love to go down in the description and find a place to buy it, or at least know what it is. And so I thought that I would do that and share with you guys some of my experiences that I've had with the actual equipment, and whether it's failed me or it's actually been a dependable piece of equipment and something interesting to take with you. Because when you get out on these hikes, like when you're up at Blind Frog Ranch and you're backpacking around, or you get up in a canyon trying to look for skinwalkers near an ancient petroglyph site or something, you don't want to be hauling a bunch of useless equipment. So I'm going to show you everything that I have and kind of examples of how I use it. And then we're going to actually put it to use tonight in the house, in the basement around the property, to see if there's anything going on based on some of the weird stuff that's been happening here lately. And I'm going to tell you all about that soon. First of all, the number one thing that you run into when you go paranormal investigating and go to these strange anomalous spots is it seems to have some kind of an electrical effect on your batteries, on your chargers and things. So whatever cameras that you take, they're going to get drained. And so I always take a backup portable charger, and then I double this down with a solar panel. I'm literally plugged into this right now because my phone is about to die, and I'm actually just using my iPhone to film all my videos lately because I need to carry it with me and the camera quality is so good. This is a My Charge adventure pack. It's really small. It has a carabiner. You can plug 2 different devices in it and charge it up. And this thing will actually last a long time. I've been able to just take this, slip it into my pocket, and this has been a game changer for me because sometimes I'll get into a spot and weird things will happen. We are at Skinwalker Ranch actually right now. This is the gate going up, and that's Skinwalker Ridge. This is the road that goes to Skinwalker Ranch. If I continue down that road, we will run directly into it, but we're actually going to go to a different spot to get a view of the ranch from the south side. Oh, tell me look how creepy this place is. Okay, I'm in the wrong spot. This is not it, but I'm going to look on my map and make sure, but I'm just gonna flash this light around, try to get some interaction on the REM pod down here from the back of the truck. You can see the security light blinking in the middle of the screen. Skinwalker Ridge is just parallel with all of that, with those houses and with the blinking light, and then we have the REM pod right there in the bottom left corner. I like even standing here with that blinking light over my shoulder and knowing that Skinwalker Ridge is just right there. This everything that you've ever heard about Skinwalker Ranch right here behind my my back in the darkness in the middle of the night. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning right now. It does give you a really spooky feeling to grow up hearing all of these stories and then to sit out here by yourself and to go through it and experience it. I can't explain to you guys why, how did I forget my night vision? The whole reason for coming here. How did I forget even my flashlight? It's like I forgot it back at the bedroom, like a half hour away where I'm sleeping. I don't know. It was the most important night. This is what I wanted to do, and somehow it's like I forgot half of it. It doesn't make any sense. Things strange or like paranormal starts to occur. It's like the cognition or consciousness doesn't quite function properly, or somehow your perceptions go off. I couldn't find half of my gear in the bag, even though it was all right in here, and I was wearing it. And for some reason, it was like it just didn't occur to me. It just like became in this blind spot to my awareness, and I was just staggering around out here with my cell phone and a black light trying to figure things out, and didn't capture really anything, but I did think that I saw a shadow figure right down here by the gate. So let's walk down there and take a look in the daytime. You can see it's actually working just fine, but the problem is when I go to hit record, check it out, it's giving me a SD card error, and it doesn't matter which SD card I put in this camera, it's giving me this error. Every time I try to use this night vision camera in any kind of an interesting location, this kind of stuff occurs. Either the batteries go completely dead or the SD cards just won't work. Maybe this is just like a faulty piece of equipment, but I tested it at home, and I literally just filmed a test clip of the dog a little bit ago before I left the house, and I filmed a test clip here just a second ago, and it was working fine. But as soon as I went to start, suddenly it doesn't work anymore. Like when I was at Skinwalker Ranch, I parked on the south side of the fence and tried to stay out there, and my phone battery was drained, my other night vision camera battery drained, and then even my backup battery drained. And one thing that I didn't have was a solar charger. So the next thing I'm going to show you is how I solved that problem. This is the Goal Zero Nomad 5. This is a portable solar panel. It is so simple. I literally just zip tied it to the top of the backpack so that as I'm hiking around, it catches the sun and stays charged. And all you got to do is flip it up like that. There is a cable for a USB port to plug in right there. This has been really awesome and actually really affordable. These are just standard headlamps. I always keep a backup in case one dies, but then I also have this really cool Duracell pop-up light. This is just like a little bank light of LEDs with a single button on the back and a tripod. I'll get to the really cool ghost hunting equipment in a second, but I've got this really awesome Coast G55. This is a really bright, small, compact, really durable construction flashlight. I've taken this on a lot of expeditions, and it's just really straightforward. I've dropped this so many times, and it's been really great. And this one actually has multiple features with one button. This glows in the dark on the back. It is made by Samlight, and this has multiple settings. So when you turn it on, it's got your regular flashlight in the center and then multiple modes, so you can get different hues of lighting in the environment. Maybe you get a different reaction from green. There's a black light setting, so you can get ultraviolet light. I've also got a full-time black light flashlight that's all it does. Sometimes it reveals different petroglyph angles and carvings that you wouldn't normally see. It also has a laser light so that you can point it out objects, or if you're pointing things out on video on the rocks, you can look at it that way. And if I'm not packing heat into an area in order to keep myself safe, I'm always taking like a thing of pepper spray, not like a little tiny one, but this is like in between a giant can of bear spray. This would work pretty good on any kind of a predator or somebody giving you problems. Obviously, I don't take all of this on every trip. I think about what expedition I'm going on, what I'm going to do. If I'm going to be backpacking a lot of times I'll just take the tripod because it does like 3 things at once, and I only need to carry one thing. I'm not going to take all of my film handles. I'll pick one of the flashlights and a few of the things, and then try to make do with the bare minimum, so I'm not just packing a whole bunch of unnecessary equipment around. I've got this really awesome Benchmade pocket knife. This is a spring assist one so that you can open it with just one hand. You literally just flip that down, and then with one hand it opens up like that, and you don't have to do anything. So that way you can have another piece of equipment in your one hand, reach down, grab your pocket knife, and flip the blade out, and you don't have to set everything down in the dirt in order to use your knife. I like to carry on me just like a pocket metal detector. This is just a pinpointer. You really have to just be right down on top of stuff, but you just push the button, and then anything metal that you get close to, that way you don't have to carry like a giant metal detector around with you, like a whole big one that you're sweeping around. If you just want one for your backpack for investigating an interesting location, this is like a really good way to go. I also have a drone. I have a big Celestron telescope for looking up in the sky for UFOs. I've got a mini spotting scope. You know, I take GoPros. I always take like paracord and duct tape and things, because you can lower GoPros down in a hole or like a weird air duct or vent if you want to do that. I also have this night vision camera, but I almost don't want to shout it out because I've never had this thing really work. Every time I've tried to use it, the battery's drained, the memory card fails, it doesn't really work. So I want to skip all over that and get to the really cool stuff now. As far as bang for your buck, these little phone plug-in FLIR one for Apple is really cool. I mean, there's the QR code. If you want to pause your screen, scan that, you can see where to go get it right now if you want. But this is really awesome. You just plug it into the bottom of your phone, you twist this thing tight, and then these little lenses give you thermal imaging in multiple different settings. So aside from this laser temperature thing, you can actually film and see the different heat waves. In fact, up at Vernal, Utah, at a big haunted hotel, I was there with Chad Ollinger from Blind Frog Ranch, and we actually used this a lot on a paranormal investigation there.
But I think I'm gonna go ahead and turn these off real quick.
Getting ready to walk down this long hallway with the FLIR camera just to do some temperature investigating while Gage is in the television room. So Chad, just for reference, you can see his body heat and temperature. So a living person, what they look like, just like that. See, that's a window. You can see the heat signature coming from outside. If you see anything that looks like a person, then you know this is the hallway. We're gonna walk down it. Gage is up ahead on the left, and we're gonna look for any spirits crossing the hallway. This is room 316, we'll scan in there. So Chad, why don't you walk ahead down the hallway to the end, and I'll film you going down there and see if you see anything else. Here comes Gage out of the room.
Oh man.
We're just investigating down the hallway here with the thermal, so check this out.
Oh man.
You can see Chad down at the end of the hallway, but we haven't been able to see anything else. If you see any other movement though. So something, you know, killed the walkie-talkie during our live stream, and now we're here filming the main investigation, and we've got the REM pod going, and our night vision battery's already died. So we've got some toys set up here. If there's an entity in this room that would like to come and interact with us, we have some things on the table here that you can come and play with. So we have a spirit box that you can come and touch. There's a meteorite. Every single paranormal investigation show or experience that I've been on, everybody's carrying tri-field meters. You can test the magnetic and electromagnetic fields around you and see if there's anomalies or spikes, and then how you interpret that is totally up to you. These are Dicyanin goggles. These actually use a special formulated dye that in a lot of countries is illegal because they were using it to look for cancer in patients, and they realized you could see human auras and energy fields, and when you look around, it forces a lot of the visual spectrum out of your field of view, and your brain and your eyes have to adjust to a totally different color spectrum in order to see. And so when you put these on, it trains your brain to look into other realms or into other levels of the visual spectrum that you normally don't notice. And I'm telling you, you start to see weird energy ripples, shadow figures, lights in the sky, and then you take the goggles off and you can't see anything. This is a new edition that I got from the museumoftarot.com. Hooked me up with 2 sets of these, and I'm going to be trying these out when I go out during the daytime to these really cool spots and seeing what I can see. If you want to see more about that, check this out. And it kind of seems to reveal something that you don't expect. If I can get it to work, it's really hard to do this. It almost appears as if there's things hidden around and behind the sun. I'm gonna try and get the camera to focus. Check this out, let's see. So there's the sunrise, you can see it coming up in the horizon. I know that there is, like, this is lens flare bouncing back and forth off of the lens. But if I can get this at just the right angle, you see it reveal things in the sky that you normally would not be able to perceive. It is really interesting to experiment, walk around and do paranormal investigating to look for UFOs in the sky. And these were originally used as a medical device in order to look for dark spots and shadows on the human aura so that you could diagnose cancer and other things like that, or spot where there was an illness in the body. But really, it's just kind of interesting to see your own energy field and aura and realize that you are more than just your physical body. Oh yeah, this is one of my favorites. I've actually had this go off a couple of times. Oh, see, it's like a proximity sensor. This is called a REM pod or a ghost pod. You literally just pop up this antenna and then turn it on, and there's different levels of range and setting, and you can reset the temperature to 0. And then anything getting close to this, it sets the alarm off. These are the beings, and then look, here's like more triangle shapes and all kinds of interesting stuff. What were the ancient Pueblo, the Anasazi people, trying to tell us? This is my favorite one, you guys. This is so cool. Because look how strange it is. Look how the feet are turned in like that. Look how the arms are at 90-degree angles. There's like spikes sticking out from the sides. Look at the shape of the eyes. It looks like a big insect, like a praying mantis or an ant or something like that. Well, we might as well get this thing going. This is the REM pod. It's like a ghost detector, so once we fire this up, see the lights up there? That's pretty cool. So anything that comes near the antenna will signal it. It'll light up. If that starts beeping, we know something's going on. And now I'm going to turn this on, which has its own little antenna as well. Oh, you guys, the thing just went off. I've got this FM scanner. Look, oh, it's going off. Okay, I'm going to turn this. Hello? I'm going to go through the... Okay, now it's scanning through stations. Set this right here. Okay, this is weird. The spirit, that thing, the REM pod, was just going off a second ago on its own. Also got this digital inspection endoscope, which is really just a snake camera. On the end of this long waterproof cable, you can snake this into cracks, caves, any kind of a mysterious spot that you can't fit inside. And there's lights built in and a camera in the tip of this, and you can see it right through here on the viewfinder, and even put an SD card in there and record the footage. This is the S-Box Ghost Scanner. This is actually a radio frequency scanner that basically scrolls through the AM/FM bandwidth at a really high pace, and then you basically ask questions like, is there any spirits here? Is there any entities? Is there a skinwalker nearby? And what will happen is the radio signal, voices will come through. It will even answer your questions. And out of all of my pieces of equipment, this little thing has been the strangest. You can sometimes ask straight up questions, what's your name? And it will say Sarah, or it will say Peter, and it will tell you names and give you answers if you're good at asking questions. Hasn't worked every time, but when I've gone to really like supposed haunted locations, this thing has been very reliable every time I've taken it. And I've honestly, for some reason, only put batteries in it once, and I've never had to change them. It's been a very reliable piece of equipment, and I've gotten some of the best results out of all my paranormal investigating with this thing right here. If there's someone in this room that would like to communicate with us, you can talk to us through this radio.
Certainly.
Certainly. Did someone in this, does someone currently live in this room still? Every time I ask it something, it talks back. Okay. We're in room 316. If this is your room, would you like us to leave?
Did you say get out now?
It sounded like it said get out now. Did it just say get out now? Okay, why don't you try to ask a question, Chad?
What's your name? Peter.
Peter. It literally
Did you hear
said
that?
Peter. Is your name Peter?
Sure is. Sure is.
That's pretty much it, you guys. On a regular paranormal investigation, other than taking like a little bit of snacks and some water, I will just pick through that pile of equipment and decide what is the most essential that I need to take, and that's what I'll take with me. If there's anything that you think I missed, something that you think I should have that I don't, please tell me down in the comments below. I'm just getting into this. I'm finding out what works and what doesn't, and I would love your guys' opinion. But right now, we got to get ready to go in the house, wait for the sundown, get set up, and we're going to do an actual paranormal investigation, utilizing all of this equipment to the best of our ability to see what we come up with. So as you can tell, I've been to a lot of amazing spots. I have a ton of really cool spots that I still want to go on my bucket list. If you think I should go somewhere and see something that you're aware of, if there's a Skinwalker Valley, a UFO hotspot, a place that you found really interesting, ancient location full of petroglyphs, let me know that too. And I want to make it out to your area, and you can show me what you got, and I'll bring the equipment and we can try it out. If you think there's something I'm missing or another piece of equipment that you're curious about and how I use it, please let me know down in the comments below. But now we got to get ready to go in, get set up, wait for the sundown, and get ready for part 2, where we're going to do the actual paranormal investigation to see if my house is really haunted. And at the beginning of that video, I'm going to tell you everything that's been going on in my house, because it's been strange. There's been lights turning on and off. I've been having my smoke alarms going off, my ceiling fans turning on and off on their own, and hearing noises ever since I've been up to the Uinta Basin around Blind Frog Ranch and Skinwalker Ranch, and going and doing this paranormal investigating. Strange stuff has been happening in my life, and even having dreams and different things. I'm not afraid of it. I just want to keep exploring and see what we find. So make sure and subscribe, turn on notifications, check out all my awesome stuff over on TikTok if you haven't already, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.